Right now I'm just kind of going back on what I spun, and just kind of clean up the little fibers that are kind of sticking out. And even if you don't get all of it, I can always go back when I'm gonna add the rabbit fur on there and clean it up there. So this is where I started. From this point, this was where I ended. So from here, I'm gonna try to measure it out 60 feet at least to see how far I get. So I try not to get this too tangled up, even though it's gonna get spun. So just pretty much just spinning on my thigh here, and I'll be holding the tip where it ends and then spin. I'll be spinning out, going up when I'm spinning. And at the same time, just try to keep an eye on the string down below. Make sure it doesn't get tangled up. So here it's kind of getting thin. So I can go back. And probably pull from here, because it's a lot easier to spin on the thigh than to have a material over on your lap. There's no way that you can get the same tightness and as you would on your thigh to get the fibers really locked up. I usually press down while I'm spinning, because that way the fibers will stay together while you're spinning it, and when it's spinning it'll be tight. Parts kind of drying out. Just kind of wring it out, because when it's dried it won't spin. Then if you have too much water in the fiber, it won't spin either. So you have to have a certain consistency in the fibers while you're spinning, because it'll just slide on your lap or on your thigh. So pretty much using muscles that are in your hands, and you'll feel it afterwards when you've spun all day long. And that's the reason why we need the fibers to be pretty much clean when we're cleaning them. That way you won't have to worry about the pulp that's in the middle. It'll make it kind of hard for the fibers to wind. So even though it comes out like this, what I do is I usually unravel it back like that, and then I go back, and what I do is I go back and I'll just kind of pull on it to make sure that it's tight. So it's pretty much just this spin on the kind of spin that they would do on wool. Then you would just go back and snip off the little hairs that are out. And it's good to have make sure your scissors are sharp. The cordage will dry. It dries pretty quick. That's why I do the second tightening it up. So once it dries up, it'll stay in that the way it was spun. So when you're putting on the rabbit fur, it'll kind of twine back the other way. But when you let it go, and then it'll twine back to where it's original, the way it was spun, and then it'll lock in the rabbit fur. See, this one's kind of dry, so when you're spinning it, it's kind of hard for it to lock up. At the end, I'll probably just make a knot when I get done, but this one, since I'm still going to be adding on more, I'll leave it like this, and then do more, put more fiber on there to attach to that end there. So these ones that are kind of dark, the fibers, you don't want to use that one, because that will, it'll break right away, because that's kind of burned. So right now I'm just adding on more fiber, that way I can spin more. I like to use warm water when I'm doing this, because it's a lot easier to work with the warm water. Then I just kind of wind it like that. Now I have to get it on the floor. Just continue on from there. Well, I'll probably just finish up on how much I have, and then measure, see how far I've measured the length of the cordage. The whole thing that I spun is probably going to be about 200 feet to make a 2x3 blanket.